What's up, friends? It's time for another Epic 7 video. Today, I was doing some research. I wanted to find out what the best units for arena defense were. And then I was thinking, I was like, you know what? If I'm curious about this, maybe some other people are going to be curious about this as well. Watch the video gets no views. That would be amazing. No, that would not be amazing. That's sarcasm. So I was doing a lot of research. I was collecting data. I basically took a few hours to take a look at all these OP legend defenses and see what they were using, put it all into a spreadsheet, sorted the spreadsheet, and came out with the best units, the most meta-relevant units that are most widely used in the highest tier of arena defense. Shockingly enough, well, maybe not shocking, it's like so many ML5s, like so many. Compared to, like, I come from a history of Summoner's War, where it's like, LD5, you're super lucky, it's super rare to get one, and then like in Epic 7, since there's a pity system, you know, you can just keep wailing until you eventually get whatever you want. So, the best units, if you want it, you're gonna get it. So it's just crazy to me, like, what kind of ML5s are in these defenses, like ML5, like every single defense, like so crazy. Anyway, I thought you guys would get a kick out of seeing it as well. Let's take a look at, first off, disclaimer, this is not my opinion. Some of these units I'm like, really, I wouldn't have expected this here. Really, I wouldn't have expected that there. It's just based on the data that I've collected. Not my opinion personally. Some of these units I don't have a problem with. Some of these units I'm like, oh yeah, I could see why that's on there. These are not units that I like or dislike personally. This is based on data I've collected from legend defenses. Again, it's just a disclaimer, because I know people are going to be like, Bagel, that's wrong. I'm like, that's math. That's math. Not my opinion personally. It's just based on math. Anyway, so here's the basic fundamentals on the different strategies for why these units are so widely used, why these units perform so well. Strategy 1, outspeed, open, strip, control, or kill, right? You get turn 1, you're going to either increase your combat readiness, strip, or strip and decrease the enemy's combat readiness, CC them, or kill them, right? Or try to increase their cooldowns, or etc., right? Strategy 2, respond to opponent's aggressive attack by being tanky, using damage mitigation like shields, and like this takes less, your allies take less damage from critical hits. Lots of HP based units. Evasion, things that evade more. Counterattacks, things that have counterattacks already built into their kit. Lots of passives. Really strong passives that mitigate damage and counter and stuff like that. Self-revive. Examples, Fallen Cecilia, Arbiter Vildred, Assassin Cartuja, Martial Artist Ken, Elena, etc. So there's actually more with strategy too, like responding to opponents' aggressive attacks than outspeed. I'm sure there's also, all of these tanky units are also have elements in the teams that are like, oh, by the way, you thought I was tanky, but I'm really like super fast as well. So I didn't fight these legend defenses. I have no clue how fast some of these tanky units are, because I feel like some of them are actually, I heard stories about the like crazy speed K-Rons, right? I heard stories about that. But anyway, I just wanted to give the basic fundamentals of the two strategies to, like, on your arena defense, what are you going to do? Are you going to outspeed and cause chaos? Be aggressive, or are you going to respond to the most common arena offenses that there are? So anyway, let's go to honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, Rowana, 8%. Newer unit 2, Royal of Light, ML5, 7%. These are used in set. When I say 8%, I don't mean like 8% effectiveness. I mean like these are used in 8% of legend defenses, 7% of legend defenses, 4% of legend defenses, etc. K-Ron, 7%. I'm actually surprised. Like, I know it's based on my gear, but I'm like, I feel like I can never. I actually like my K-Ron, but I'm like, I never feel like he's really like legend quality. Like as far as a unit, I'm like, really, K-Ron, really? But yeah, Little Queen Charlotte. But I know that's just based on my gear. Little Queen Charlotte, Vildred, who's in more of like an aggressive team, like very fast strip, defense break, nuke kind of thing. I saw him with a few Arbiter Vildred. This is regular Vildred, by the way. I saw him with a few Arbiter Vildreds too. Faithless Litica. I was like, Fallen Litica. What? Faithless Litica, Maid Chloe, Rose, and C. Armin. Actually, I was surprised that C. Armin was there because I really never heard too much about people going too crazy about her. But I saw her in a few defenses, and I was like, really? Okay, so maybe I'm gonna have to take more of a look at her. I mean, I did take a look at her, right? But I was like, interesting. Unit I don't have though. And then Rose, I was surprised to see Rose at least in 4% of them. Anyway, I thought there were gonna be more Maid Chloes and like no Roses and no C. Armins. Anyway, let's get on to number 9. Number 9, actually, Bego, what about 10? Top 10. How does top 10 work? You're gonna already skip to number 9. There's 3 at 9 actually. So there's 3 at 9 with 11% uses. So 11% of the arena defenses have these units in them. Number 9 is Elena, used on 11% of legend defenses. She basically, just as like a little recap of what she does, she decreases damage from AoE attacks and AoE heals. So that's why Elena is effective. She would be more in a turn 2 team, right? She's like responding to the enemy's attacks, but she decreases damage from AoE attacks. Another number 9, used in 11% of legend defenses. She is an AoE strip. She also has damage based on HP and a defense buff to allies. When she came out, because she's, what, like 2 months old or something like that? I was looking at her when she came out. She's a little dragon girl. And I was like, yeah, she's okay, but I didn't really see her being that used. But 11% of legend defenses, she actually apparently is that widely used, which I don't ever see her at my rank. Like, I don't even remember the last time because she's all in legend. No, I don't remember the last time I actually hit an Alencia defense. I don't even remember. I don't. Anyway, what's the next one? Seaside Bologna. Yes, I did that on purpose. Seaside Bologna, used on 11% of legend defenses when allies are attacked several times. Counterattacks with an AoE defense break. Sometimes she kills squishies. Does she really kill squishies? Well, if you have bad gear on the squishies, she kills. If they're extra squishy, she can kill squishies. But yeah, sometimes she's also very fast and an aggressive turn 1 team as well. She can kind of work in both teams. Turn 1 and turn 2. We have music on, yeah. We have music on. This guy, I was surprised. So Seaside Bologna, you see more of them in lower levels and less of them, because like at my rank, I see her all the time. I'm like, Seaside Bologna, like every defense is Seaside Bologna. Every single one, like all of them. Like it's got to be like 80%, but like in Legend, it's like 11%. So it's just interesting to see. Crow, I'm surprised that there was so many Crows in Legend defenses. 13% of Legend defenses, very tanky unit, does damage based on how low his health is. So the enemy comes in, they blast you with some AoEs, he survives and he nukes something that was trying to blast him, right? He nuked something that was trying to kill him. I'm just, like, I got Crow recently, I know he's good, I know, people were talking him up for like, oh, Wyvern, because early game, beginner game, they're like, oh, if you have Crow, use him in Wyvern 11. Before 12 and 13 came out, right? Because they just came out recently. So I'm just surprised to see him in that many Legend. I figured I would see him in like 1 or 2, not 13%. 13%. Like, apparently I don't appreciate him enough, right? Apparently I don't appreciate him enough. Number 7, 14% of Legend defenses. I am not surprised to see him on here. He makes my life a nightmare. He has killed my units from just counterattacking more times than I'd like to admit. Counter. He's another one that has passives that counterattack. Sometimes enough damage to kill when countering. That's really frustrating, man. He is, oh my goodness. And then an AoE defense break on top of the counter. He is a rough one for me, man. He's a rough one for me because he can kill my units without even taking a turn. So this is one that gives me a hard time. I don't really have too much of a hard time with Crow personally, and I don't have as much of a hard time with Alencia, but I do have a hard time with ML Ken personally with the comps that I use. Charles used an 18% of Legend defenses. I honestly, I'm surprised that he uses. I know he's good, but I'm surprised that he's used in this many. 18%. tanky unit, attack power buff with the skill 3, counter mechanics to attack break skill 1, strip skill 2. I'm really surprised he's used this much, honestly. I mean, I guess for this, I mean, with counter mechanics, I'm just still surprised. I don't know, man. I use Charles in like guild wars and stuff like that and some dungeons, but... Or actually in a lot of my dungeon teams, I just never feel like I want to bring him into PvP. Like, I'm just... So, if I go up against the Charles, I'm really not too worried about the Charles. I'm more worried about, like, ML Ken. But of course, still more people have Charles than have ML Ken. I'm just still surprised that, I don't know, I know he's effective. I'm just surprised that I've seen him so many times, this high level. Lilius, I feel like Lilius is maybe... Like 26% of legend defenses. I don't know. I think things like Lilius, things like Charles, I was expecting to see less of, and I was expecting to see more of like what else? Maid Chloe. Ruel of Light maybe. I was expecting to see more of those. But again, those are ML5, so I guess less people, even if they're willing to spend those not bookmarks. Those mystic medals are very, very, they're more expensive than Covenant bookmarks, right? But yeah, 26% of legend defenses. I was surprised it was that many. Like, I knew it was going to be a lot, but I didn't know it was going to be 26%. That's quite a bit. Decreased combat readiness for other units to move next. She's similar to Basar in her usage. Then we have Assassin Cartuja. 29% of legend def. I feel like I get lucky when I hit this guy. I just get lucky. So he has a passive, he increases evasion. 29% though. Like, really, that many times. I know anyone that's like super high level that's watching this is like, yeah, of course he's used that much. He's really annoying. I think I just get lucky when I hit him. That's the thing. Passive that increases evasion chance for more annoying stall defense tactics. It's that turn 2 kind of team. Combo with other stall tanky damage mitigation units for best results. As much damage mitigation, as much stall, as much tankiness as you can get together in a team with him, the better results you're gonna get. Number 3, Basar. So this is this is the most widely used ML, non-ML 5-star. So regular element 5-star. 52% of legend defense. 52%. This is the best arena non-ML unit in the game. Can we just call it that? I mean, I feel like that's just like obvious. Like everyone's like, yeah, we figured as much. 52% of legend defenses. So basically, you get turn 1, you strip, you combat readiness decrease, and then you come in and you defense break and you nuke, or you control, or you do something else, right? So high speed, strip, and decrease combat readiness. Basically, he's more for that turn 1 style team. And if you're bringing the turn 1 style team, you're like. Either you're gonna use Basar or you're gonna use something else that has a strip. Otherwise, the enemy can just use immunity against you, and there you go. And then you don't have anything, and then you can't come in, control, or nuke. So number 2, Arbiter Vildred. ML5s are so prevalent in this game. Like, there's so many people that have these units. It's crazy. Arbiter Vildred. I figured he was gonna be number 1 actually. Used in 61% of legend defenses. Auto revive passive, fills up attack gauge, gets another turn to nuke with extra damage. Skill 3 has no cooldown if it kills. Very dangerous unit. I think they were telling me that he was actually stronger even before, like back in the day. Before I was playing, they were like, "You're lucky he was you started playing when you did, because he was even more broken OP." But yeah, still using 61% of legend defenses. Crazy. I mean, no surprise there that he uses so much, but it's just like this. Basically, all you have to do is use the top 4 units, and then like you see in Legend, it's like the same defenses, spam, the same. Everyone's got the same defenses for the most part. Like, so many of the teams are just carbon copies of each other with like the top 3 units and then X, or the 3 of the top 4 units and then X. So it's basically like that's how to get Legend, is you have to have these units, number 1, number 2, and then stick whatever other 2 units you have in whatever other 2 from the top 10 you have in your team, and then there you go. You have your legend defense. Number 1, Fallen Cecilia, 72%. I'm more scared of, like, I feel like Arby's scarier. I don't know. Fallen Cecilia, 72% of legend defense. This tanky element neutral unit that shields the entire team at the start of the battle, as well as every turn. AoE skill nullifier. She also has a single target. It doesn't say here, but she has got a single target first skill that provokes. She is, so like if she counters, when one of your opponent gets hit, when one of your allies gets hit, she can provoke, which can be annoying. But yes, 72% of legend defenses. That's crazy that that many people have. I'm still just shocked that in Epic 7 you can just, like, whatever ML5 you want, just save your Mystic Metals for that rotation, and then you got it, and then you're good. It's just crazy to think 72%. That's nuts. Especially because, like, can we just agree, like, this is, like, some units are just stronger than others, period. Craziness. Like, I really was expecting, like, look at that compared to, like, Maid Chloe, 4%. And at my level, like, I see a decent amount of Maid Chloes, but apparently in Legend, that's not really as much of a thing. So, because I guess people just have more counters to it, like Extinction or whatever, so. Well, they have there's a few different counters to the revive. But anyway, I wonder what's, I mean, they have some more, not more new units, but like ML Haste. I wonder how that's gonna play in the meta, like if you see this change at all in the future. But anyway, I was just curious. I'm sure it'll change over the course of time. Everything changes. Because some of these units are new, like especially who is new? Alencia's newer. And then who else is newer? I'm trying to think. Little Queen Charlotte is newer. So anyway, that's it for this one. I just thought you guys might be interested to see like what the most used legend defense units are in the game. So I was curious. I figure maybe other people are curious too. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you as always in the next one.